One of the questions that was being raised in one of the comment sections sa sa isa sa mga videos ko is itong question of what is sin? And I think it's high time that we address this, no? And I told the person, I told this um I think brother maybe, no, I'm not sure, no. I told him that it's best that I address this in a video, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video today, no? Because most of us, when we think about sin, we have a very simplistic understanding of sin. It's like, do this and don't do that, no? Basta pag hindi mo to, basta you didn't abide by the rules, no? Automatic na yung kasalanan na kaagad yun. We often think of God as someone who is unreasonable. We often think of God as someone who is close-minded. Basta gusto ko to, ito na yun. Automatic na, ito na kaagad, no? Let me give you some examples. When you see your child being raped and you don't do anything about it, no? Kasi sabi daw sa church, as a Christian, dapat hindi daw ako pumatay, no? Are you honestly gonna tell me na hahayaan mo lang anak mo ma-rape? No? Even if you know that you somehow can stop the person from committing this heinous crime against your child, no? What about saving a person from being murdered by a Nazi? Let's say Jew nagtatago, no? Are you honestly gonna tell me na i-report mo itong mga Jew because bawal ka raw mag-lie, no? What about Paul? Binaba siya sa basket in order to be saved, para makatakas sa mga taong gustong pumatay sa kanya. What about Jesus? No? The angel of the Lord. Binigyan ka agad ng vision, ng dream itong si Joseph na, hey, alis mo siya agad dito. Go to Egypt because Herod is, wants to kill all the babies, so you might as well escape. Now, technically speaking, that's lying to Herod. He's the king, right? And sabi nga, we should respect the authorities, right? No? We should obey the law. Diba? Now think about that. I'm not saying that you become rebellious or anything like that, but there is a proper application dito sa mga batas na binigay ng Panginoon. And that's the thing na pag-uusapan natin dito sa mga to. Yung tamang perspective on how to apply these rules na binigay ng Panginoon sa atin. No? Because let's say you talk about the Ten Commandments. You say bawal ang pumatay. What about David? What about Joshua? What about the other kings who were performing, no, the will of God? Ibig mo sabihin masama ang ginagawa nila? No? Utos ng Panginoon 'yun eh. No, I'm not denying the fact that these things happen, but there is a reason behind it. No? What about lying? Okay, pag-usapan natin si Rahab. No? Si Rahab lied to the king of Jericho, yung kanyang hari, no? When she lied about the spies. But she was later commended in James chapter 2 verse 25 for what she did for saving the spies in spite of lying to the king. What about the midwives in Exodus chapter 1 when they lied to Pharaoh in order to save the babies because they fear God and God blessed them? You see, it's not as simple as that. What about dishonoring? O sinasabi sa Bible, honor thy parents, no? Or honor your mother and your father. Yeah, you go to Second Kings chapter 15 and you encounter this guy, King Asa, wherein tinanggal niya sa pwesto ang kanyang lola na si Maaka because Maaka was promoting idolatry. No? And you can say that that is against the Torah. That is against the rules. But there is also a rule against idolatry. You have to remember that. No? So, merong mga complexities behind. No? And we need to make sure that we have the proper discernment, that we have the proper perspective. And that's the thing na pag-uusapan natin today. Because God is not unreasonable nung binigay niya to mga batas na to. And by the way, if you're thinking about sin, patay ka because the Sabbath you're not actually honoring the Sabbath. No, if you're a Christian, most likely, no. If I mean, generally speaking, we Gentiles, we don't care about the Sabbath, right? Hindi naman natin pinapractice yan eh. No, sinasabi natin, Jesus is our Sabbath, right? No. So again, what is this perspective na pinag-uusapan natin? Now, let's go back to the beginning, okay? In the beginning, ano ba ang gustong mangyari ng Panginoon when He started creating? Ano ba tong reason for His creation? You go to Genesis chapter 1 from creation until the book of Revelation, iisang theme ang makikita mo. And it's always, the objective is about having a family. It's establishing this community of God. No? And when does sin come into play? When you go against God's will to to establish this community of God. Think about this from the perspective of a father, no, sa kanyang mga anak. You as a father, you're going to provide, protect, no, and protect and nurture your children. 'Di ba? You're going to educate them, you're going to take care of them. You're going to protect them from external as well as internal factors na makakasira sa kanilang pamumuhay, no? So if you are going against the will of God, whether you are an outsider or an insider, no, you are sinning against God. Kasi ito ang gusto niyang mangyari. Again, there is a proper perspective. Okay? Hindi basta-basta trip lang to ng Panginoon. Okay? When we think about this, kapag meron gustong mag-invade sa community ng Panginoon, what is He going to do? He's going to protect the family. No? When a brother inside the family is trying to destroy what God has established, no, itong community, what does God do? He gets rid of this person so that the rest will be preserved. No, that's the reason bakit mayroon excommunication. No, so it's always about establishing this family. You don't want to go against that. Okay, you don't want to go against that. And brothers and sisters within the family, do not lie, do not cheat, do not dishonor, no, do not covet against each other. They honor the father, they don't worship other idols, no? You see, lahat to, there is a proper perspective on how you apply these commandments. There are certain times, no, when they are told to defend themselves, no, the community of God in the Old Testament. But there are also times when they are told to sacrifice themselves in order to get more people come into the community, and that is the church. No? Dumarating yung ganung panahon. So it's not always a right and wrong, hindi ganun kasimple. You have to think about it very, very carefully when you're doing something. No? Take for example, the idea of smuggling Bibles. Alam naman natin masama ang pagsasmuggle eh. But why do Christians do it? Right? Why do they smuggle Bible into China, into Iran, into different places where Christianity is illegal? Okay? So it's not as simple as it looks. That's why you really need to study carefully your Bible para mas maintindihan mo on how this principle is going to be applied. The principle of loving God, loving your neighbor, loving them as you love yourself. No? So these are some of the things, some of the insights that I want to share with you, and I hope na makakatulong sa inyo to. No, I'm not trying to create any controversies. I'm not trying to divide people into the left or to the right. I don't care about those things. No, I just care that we do have a proper understanding of what we're reading, what we are reading. Okay, and with that, God bless.